I believe we are live. Let's just check on YouTube. That's probably the best way to.
Alive and kicking.
Yeah, it's probably the best way to find out if we are actually live right now. Yes, we are. Right. So we've got some questions, and obviously there'll be some questions that will come in from the right hand side. But first of all, why don't you introduce yourself?
How you doing? For anyone who doesn't know who I am, I'm James Dooley from Manchester in the UK. Do affiliate marketing, lead generation, some rank and rent websites. Heavily involved in doing a lot of testing in the algorithms that are working today.
Yeah. That one thing that you've just mentioned is testing. How
Yeah.
important would you say testing is to you?
It's really important because the point is that a lot of people talk about networking events and people talk about obviously trying to do the latest courses and all the rest of it. But the majority of the time, when someone's doing a course, if that course was done 12 months ago, a lot of the stuff that's in that course now is not relevant anymore. The algorithms are changing a lot. I mean, the core fundamentals will always be there. Good quality content, topical authority and links.
Mhm.
They'll always be the pillars of SEO. But there's certain nuances that changes with regards to what you need to be trying to do more of.
Yeah, for sure. So we've got some questions. The first question is it easier to rank an exact match domain? Obviously, you've got a lot of experience. I know
Yeah.
that Carl also has a lot of experience.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that?
So the short answer is yes. I think it's easier to rank an exact match domain.
Yeah.
There's a few caveats to put in place. If you don't build enough backlinks, you'll struggle to rank.
Yeah.
If you do too many exact match anchors, which is also seen to be branded anchors, again, you might struggle. You need to be doing a lot of naked URLs. That's kind of the secret recipe behind ranking an exact match domain. Partial match domains do very well as well. So keywords in the domain is unbelievable and it still works very well. I don't know if you've seen the latest Google leak a month ago. They actually said that they marked down exact match domains. So this time some people are saying, oh, well, I might not go with an exact match domain because Google have come out saying that they mark it down. Well, not Google, but in the Google leak, it says it's marked down.
Yeah.
And there might be some truth in that. But truth of the matter is keywords in a domain is so powerful that even if they have marked it down slightly, all what I can tell you from our testing is, yes, they work great.
Right. Okay. And would that be your go-to strategy, an exact match domain?
No, it's not always goal. It's not. So what I try to do is I try to go with a branded kind of domain.
Mhm.
I try and make certain I'm going after everything on a kind of industry as a branded. So if I'm going plumbing or electricians, I'm doing everything related to plumbing and everything related to electricians.
Yeah.
And then what I start to do is when I'm speaking to my clients, if there's someone that then starts telling me they make a lot of money in a specific sub niche, at that point I might do a partial match or an exact match. So when I know that I've got a keyword that maybe 100, 200, 300 monthly searches, I can go after that specific term and I know that it makes good money, that's when I'll do an exact match domain.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. What about partial match domains? Like obviously you could do something like star boiler installation.co.uk. Do you do much of those or?
I like doing partial match as well, to be honest with you, because again, you're still getting boiler installation in the domain in that example. But the star boiler installation hasn't been mentioned much on the internet. So that when someone puts the trigram of star boiler installation together, the three words, then Google very clearly knows it's the brand of your website. So if you're building enough backlinks and getting enough, even unlinked mentions, so an easy way of getting a lot of unlinked mentions or getting a lot of mentions of the brand Star Boiler installation is go get yourself 2, 3, 4, even 500 citations.
Yeah.
They're like business directories like Yellow Pages, Thompson Local, stuff like that. Then go and get yourself a press release.
Mm-hmm.
Well, before you know it now, you've got 350 mentions on the press release, 500 mentions if you want the highest package on citations. Now I've got 850 mentions on the internet of star boiler installation. Yeah. Make certain you're loading them into indexing tools, and then voila, like.
One thing that is super important about what you've just said is the directories, because you're then also being mentioned with your competitors on other websites. So you're essentially being tied together with the entities and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
Everything that we also are mentioning today will be documented in the cohort groups. I'm going to be doing a over-the-shoulder rank series where I'm ranking a website from 0 to 100, really. So we do have one question here from Sarvesh. Off-topic question, how would you go about lead gen for an SEO agency? I've grown from 0 to 17,000 on Twitter and 26,000 over on LinkedIn in the last year. What would you suggest for lead gen? Love your content.
So first and foremost, that's amazing that you've grown the Twitter and the LinkedIn so much. I'd say keep doing that. Keep making certain that you're building it out and getting in front of potentially your clients. I'd need to ask a few questions back, which I'm not going to be able to do. But like, I don't know what geo you're in. So let's say you're in the UK or the US or whether it's in India or wherever it is. So if you're looking for lead gen specifically for an agency, I'd be doing effective frequency. So doing exactly what you're doing there now at present with regards to Twitter and LinkedIn. If you can be doing any videos on YouTube, splicing them videos up into YouTube Shorts, which then you can also use on Instagram Reels. You can also get those shorts put onto Twitter and LinkedIn and keep building that up. I'd also be making certain that you're leveraging certain places that rank still very well, like medium.com. Build that out and start getting some links through to your medium.com. So I might be saying this wrong, but let's say you called Safish. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Hopefully I have. Safish or Safish SEO .medium.com. I'd be trying to get a lot of topical authority on your Medium. Same with the LinkedIn Pulse as well. They still rank really well. You've nothing to pay to be hosting that third-party content on those sites, and they rank pretty well. So start going after long tail keywords. Like you're saying you're an SEO agency, that's too broad. Think, are you an affiliate SEO agency? Are you an e-commerce SEO agency? Are you an SEO agency that's just going to target Florida? Like think long tail and start going after easier to rank for terms. And then at that point, once you start getting a few inquiries in, you've got 1 or 2 testimonials and case studies. For me, testimonials and case studies is what sell you as an individual. So, but also as an SEO agency, like what do you specialize in? Do you specialize in Google Business Profile? Is it local SEO that you're doing? Or is it mainly content marketing? Or is it link building? Like you need to understand exactly who your target audience is and what you're good at, and then treble down on that.
Yeah, for sure. I think one like little thing to just add to what you've said is the case studies. The case studies just sell anything. So try and produce as many case studies as you possibly can. So the next question that we have is going back to the list, and we'll go back to the actual YouTubers. How do you acquire rank and rent clients? Because that's a commonly asked question. What are you doing to acquire clients?
So generally speaking, I mean, a lot of the time now we get a lot of inbound. So you get a lot of people coming through to us that are wanting lead generation. If you think of it, any business owner wants lead generation. Like if there's one thing that a business needs to survive is a consistent flow of quality inquiries. That's what a business needs. Because once you're getting a consistent flow of quality inquiries, if you start getting busy and winning lots of work, you can start upping your prices, which then means you're making more profit. So when you start understanding that, is that if you know that, let's say, carpet cleaning was very profitable as an industry, start building out the sites for carpet cleaning, and then businesses will want those leads because guess what? They clean carpets. And guess what? They want to make certain that the people are busy in going into houses or hotels or whatever, cleaning carpets. So when you're talking about acquiring clients, it's one of the easiest things to do if you're generating good quality leads.
Yeah.
But you've got to dig deep and understand what is a good quality lead. Like if they was based in London and you asked them to travel all the way up to Inverness in Scotland to clean a carpet and it was just a rug, obviously they're not going to make any profit. Yeah. But like hotel carpet cleaning is really good. If you're in Miami and then you get an inquiry through in New York, you can't do it. Do you know what I mean? Like it's too far away. So you've got to try to understand how far are they willing to travel. So if it's Miami, is it just Southeast Florida, right? Or are they willing to travel up to Sarasota and up to Orlando? Like, you've got to start understanding where they're willing to travel, and then you can then start doing all the suburbs of the major cities and stuff like that. So, but acquiring the clients is not that difficult if you're generating good quality leads. Sometimes you've got to listen a little bit to the businesses that tell you where they make the most profit, and then start generating leads in that area. And if you're generating leads for profitable services, everyone will be biting your hand off to try to get those leads.
I from my experience, I don't think there's any really good lead generators out there. I think there's maybe a handful, and like what you said, once you start doing a good job for one person, they all just come swarming. Like I've seen it where you just take over an industry because you just do a good job for somebody, and you've obviously you've got the actual ranking keyword on FatRank as well. So if they search, like, I don't know, accountancy lead generation, your website shows up.
Yeah. Or buy carpet cleaning leads.
Yeah.
Something like purchase carpet cleaning inquiries and stuff like that. So you've got to try to be doing, like Safish was saying on the previous question, how do I generate leads for my SEO agency? How do I generate leads for me selling lead generation?
Yeah.
I've got to be doing SEO. I've got to be being proactive on Twitter, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, in all the places where potentially my target audience who want to purchase leads or do the rank events hanging about.
Yeah, definitely. So we've got a question from Frank. If Google goes after these sites, will this hurt the site they're linking to? I'm guessing that means hurt. So I think what Frank is mentioning is, if a website has been penalized and it's linking to your website, will that affect your site?
Depends what type of penalty that it's had. If it's pure spam, then yes, definitely. If it's got an unnatural links penalty, then more than likely. If it's like got messages, it depends whether it's like I'll go for a few different examples. So if you've got a manual action penalty for thin content, well, it means that the site generally's got thin content, and yes, pretty much all outbound links from that site will be seen as being not a great site to get a link from.
Yeah.
I think what you need to do is look at a multitude of things with regards to SEMrush spam score, Ahrefs DR, link research tools, trust, power, and toxicity, Majestic trust flow and citation flow, and then try to have a look at where the traffic's at and where they're linking out to. And if it looks like a link farm, well, guess what? It probably is a link farm. So if they're selling links to every man and his dog that's selling CBD and casino and everything else, and the traffic's tanked, then it's probably not a good site to be getting a link from. And then if you think you are in some sort of partial match penalty with regards to link building, you can just do the disavow. The disavow is there for you to use it. Like, the amount of people that don't use it is frightening. Like, go and have a look at your backlink profile. Go and download your backlink profile from Ahrefs or Majestic or SEMrush. Go into Google Search Console, and then you can download a load of the fresh links that are pointing through to your site. And if they look spammy, just disavow them, and then you don't need to worry about it. Brings your toxic, like, you've got a toxicity threshold from industry to industry. If you're here and you're close to being penalised, or you're here and you have been partial penalty, just bring it back down to here by disavowing a lot of the links that you think these look spammy. If you think they look spammy, guess what? They probably are spammy.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think enough people use the disavow tool. There was actually a case study that Cyrus done. I don't know if you saw that.
I'm not seeing that.
And he is saying that when Google says Google ignores bad links, it's BS. He's actually used the disavow tool and seen some really good.
Do you know what? On that, I'd just say to you that I think Google does try to ignore spammy links, like, because I don't. Google understands negative SEO happens, and understand that scraper links happen and image links happen and stuff like that. So they do try the best to ignore it.
Yeah.
The issue is sometimes when they're trying to ignore some of it, but then these webmasters are actually buying some links. Sometimes it's the links they're buying.
Yeah.
They're terrible.
Yeah.
Some of these guest posts are the most toxic links that people are buying, and they're the ones that are driving the most toxicity.
Yeah.
But again, you just load them all in there that's coming across to say, like, I think I'm in a partial penalty. Well, disavow. Like, it's just the same with content pruning. If you've got lots and lots of content that's not ranking for anything and it's not very good content, delete it.
Yeah.
Like, because then the cost of information retrieval for the pages that might stand a better chance of ranking, the internal page rank distribution and link juice distribution throughout your site, you're going to start powering up the other pages more by deleting the dross.
Yeah, definitely. So then one question, then we'll go back to the set of questions. Do you buy followers for Medium?
I don't know. I'm not really bothered about the followers as such. I'll do link building to it. So for what I do, obviously I'm an investor in Searcheroo, but I use Searcheroo. That's why I invested in the tool. In the agency. So they've got a tier 2 package, which are link inserts or niche edits, as some people call it. So that's a link in an existing article that's got some sort of power and is ranking within Google. So I go and get maybe 20 tier 2s that are pointing through to my medium.com. Every so often, if I'm ranking, let's say, positions 3 to 5 for a specific article on Medium, then I'll hit those as well directly through to the article. Try and internal link all the Medium articles to each other, link from the Medium to my LinkedIn post. This isn't done on James Dooley, by the way. I'm a James Dooley Medium. That's just for testing purposes. These are like branded. So again, I'll just go back to a carpet cleaning example. If I've got Manchester carpet cleaning, I'd go manchestercarpetcleaning.medium.com and I go and create every article related to carpet cleaning in Manchester. How to remove red wine from a carpet in Manchester.
Yeah.
How to remove blood from a carpet in Manchester and stuff like that. And then I cover the topic in its entirety, be internal linking them, treating it pretty much like you would a website. I think nowadays, it used to be a lot more difficult to do, but nowadays with regards to, again, I'm just going to plug another kind of tool, but again, I don't invest in products or tools unless I think they're the best.
Yeah.
I've invested in a tool. There's a guy called Vaibhav Sharda that created autoblogging.ai. Now, I invested in autoblogging.ai and so did yourself.
Yeah.
Why? Because I thought it was the best AI tool that was out there. So then what did I do? I got my team that are brilliant at writing content to keep going back and forth with Vaibhav to saying, this needs improving. This is how you need to do this content.
So I was actually thinking about this. We actually didn't really start promoting autoblogging for about 8 months. We invested in it, but like, I don't know, let's say in January last year, and we didn't actually start promoting until maybe November.
Well, I mean, I'm not being funny, like, but for me to go out my way to try to promote autoblogging, I'm going to make next to nothing on it anyway. Yeah. I invested in autoblogging because I needed it myself, and I needed to make certain that, one, I thought it was already a great tool, but two, I knew that if I was an investor and a shareholder within the company, I knew I could strive for it to be better and innovative, continuously growing it and improve that quality control so I can use it for myself. Whether people watching this want to use ScaleNote or Cuppa or ChatGPT or whatever they want to use, for me, it doesn't really matter that much. I'm just telling you that, in my opinion, autoblogging.ai is the best AI writing tool, and that's what I use. If you went on to some of my LinkedIn Pulse articles and you tried to get a similar article written in autoblogging AI, you'll see it comes out very, very, if you go into godlike mode, you'll see it comes out in a very similar format. Try and do that using another AI writing tool, it doesn't come out the same way. We've specifically put certain sentences in certain ways, done semantically like Corys style, to make certain it's got best chances of winning.
Definitely. So what is your go-to internal linking strategy?
Do you know what? So I think the big one is making certain, if I can, as long as it's not a ridiculously big site, try and make certain the click depth, everything's 2 clicks away.
Yeah.
If it's a big site, it might need to be 3 clicks. Sometimes, if it's a really big site, it could even be 4 clicks away. But generally speaking, everything's 2 clicks away. So what that means is you've got your homepage linking to categories linking to the blog posts in that category.
Yeah.
Right? Then, generally speaking, whatever makes sense that's relevant, internal link. Right? The more internal links, in my opinion, the better. Be like Wikipedia. So if you're saying something in a sentence and you've got a page about that with more detail, go and internal link through to it. Like, people are saying, oh, but what's your exact strategy? Is it 2.7 links per page? And all? It's like, no, like, make certain each article is within a category and then try to make certain that you're internal linking everywhere where it means sense and is relevant for the user, so that the user could end up spending hours on your site going, actually, this is a really good resource. I actually really like this website because now I've learned about this, or there was a detergent for moving blood, but I also realised that also is the same detergent that removes red wine or something. This is the best place of where to get it from and all the rest of it. So, like, just do topical authority, but don't become obsessed as being an SEO to do topical authority because you think Google needs it. Like, do topical authority because try and think of what the next couple of questions is that the viewers and the users could be having when they've landed on that page, and try to answer those next few questions as best you can. So they are spending longer on your site, which then means your dwell time is better. The pages visited on your site is better. The behavioral signals is huge nowadays. That's one of the biggest things that, in my opinion, that's happened. People talk about like the helpful content update. For me, it's the behavioral signal update. Yeah. Like, how do I get people spending more time on my site? That's what I need. How do I do traffic diversity, more dwell time, more pages visited on the site? If I've got an affiliate and they just keep clicking off and clicking off, well, I'm not surprised a lot of affiliates have been here. And it's harsh because sometimes that affiliate site's done its job. If someone went to London on best 10 TVs and they go and click to one of the TVs, that affiliate site's done its job. Yeah, but sure, the behavioral signals is not great, and I think that could be a big factor.
One little bit added tip to what you've just said. I actually saw a tweet before you came over from Connor. He might actually be watching this on Twitter. Shout out if you are. But he said that if you are doing LinkedIn Pulse or Medium or just whatever, even shorts, YouTube videos and stuff, naturally, if you don't link to your website and you just mention your website, let's say jamesdooley.com or kasra-.com, whatever, your branded search volume is going to go up as well. So that's another way of actually not manipulating CTR, but actually getting true CTR through to your branded page as well. Yeah. So doing stuff like that can definitely help.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's just go to Sarvesh. He's got another question. Random question. If you were not doing SEO, any kind of it, what would you be doing today, both of you? What would you be doing?
If I wasn't doing SEO, I'd have to do something else that's going to challenge me mentally and physically. Yeah. So physically, I like to be challenged on doing like hiking, cycling, going to the gym, playing football. I need to be busy physically. But then mentally, I need to be challenged every single day. So I absolutely love SEO because it's a never-ending puzzle. Mm-hmm. So things are changing all the time and you need to be innovative. And if I try to slow down, I'd fall behind and won't be at like the forefront of what's working in today's algorithms. So I'd need something. I don't know what it would be because I absolutely love SEO. It'd be something else to do with
PPC.
Yeah, PPC, anything that kind of, I enjoy helping businesses grow. I enjoy talking numbers like return on investment, average transactional value, lifetime value, sales funnels. Like I love geeking out on the numbers. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why I've done pretty well. I'm a businessman first, SEO second. I've just leveraged SEO as part of the business. What would you be doing?
I would
be drinking pina colada on the beach.
Definitely not. I like what you said. I'd probably be doing something in the digital realm. Maybe I don't know, be doing web design. So it's something that allows me to work on my laptop and just be anywhere. But then I think I would probably leverage that money to invest into other things. Now knowing what I know now. But yeah, good question. What is your go-to link building strategy for a new website?
For a new website, right? So for a new website, it's very different to an existing one. Mm-hmm. So for a new website, I'm mainly looking to get no follow and branded anchors. Yep. If it's an exact match domain, mainly no follow. So I'm wanting citations. Yep. Generally speaking, 500. I prefer going on the heavy side. Everyone says, "Oh, just get 50." No, get 500. Majority of them don't index anyway. So maybe like only 250, 300 of them might index. Mm-hmm. So just try and get the 500, then load them into an indexer, like Giga Indexer or Indexceptional. Amiga Indexer's all right, Index Me Now. There's plenty of different indexing tools that's out there. Generally speaking, the ones that I'm using is Giga Indexer and Indexceptional. Citations, I get them from, I used to get them off as a guy on Legit. But now, because I want to try and make sure I'm using the API to get them indexed, I use local SEO sharks. So they do the citations from it. They do unique descriptions. They try and get like the logo, an image, a video. So it gives it best chances to index.
Yeah.
It's also being surrounded by relevant content and stuff like that. So for the citations, I then go and do a press release. Oh, I make sure I've got like some images and videos done. And then if I'm going with having a GMB or Google Business Profile, I make certain that's set up as well first, because then I go and do a press release. So there's like PR Fire, Magic PR. There's lots of different places where you can go and get a press release from. They normally do like 350 kind of URLs. Now, again, not all of them index, but the point is, and this is important, and this is very important for people to understand who's watching this, a link that's not indexed can still pass power if it's been crawled by Google. The fact that it's been crawled by Google, Google sees the link, it's just chosen not to put it in the index because there might already be other pages that are pretty similar to that. And people don't understand that. So you can get a non-indexed page with a link through to you that can move the needle, right? Now, none of these are big move the needle type links yet. These are just what's called as foundational links or pillow links. But I go and get 350. Again, I load all the 350 through an indexer. Why? Because I want to make certain Google bot is crawling them.
Yeah.
Now, indexceptional, you go and load the 350 in, and if they don't if the URL doesn't index, I can guarantee your Google bot's crawled it. But if it doesn't index, you don't pay for that index. So it's actually guaranteeing you to get indexed, or you don't pay anything.
Yeah.
But the good thing is, and what the little hack is, that if you're loading in your citations and your press releases where all of them won't index, they're still getting them to get Googlebot to crawl it, and that's all you need it to do.
Mm-hmm.
So for that reason, it's good. Now I've got 850 different referring domains. I then normally go down the road of maybe 10 super relevant guest posts that I'm trying to rank for the keywords that I want my money site to rank for, and maybe go and do like 10 link inserts. And then I'd do like what my brother calls it, like put it in the oven, and I'd leave it for 6 to 8 weeks and see where it sits.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes if that's an exact match domain, I'm pretty much ranking and I'm done.
What about any power posts? Would you do any power posts?
So I would, not really on exact match domains, on smaller sites, on a new domain, but certainly on affiliate sites, certainly on sites where I've got budget, 100%.
Right.
So for anyone that doesn't know what a power post is, right, majority of the time, you just picture this, you're already buying links and you know what a guest post is, right? How many times have you tried to rank that guest post? I bet you any money, if you're watching this now, you've never tried to rank the guest post. You've never turned around and gone, okay, this guest post that I'm writing needs to be 2,500 words. It needs these NLP entities put on the page. It needs all these H2s and these questions specifically written in a way like using like Page Optimizer Pro or Market Moves, where like Page Optimizer Pro is using like edge analysis to try and make certain scientifically it gives it the best chances of ranking for those keywords. How many times have you done that for your guest posts? I bet you've hardly ever done it. But then you go and get the tier 2 backlinks that's pointing through to the guest post. So now you're getting power through to the guest post, which gives it even more chance of ranking. And then you go and do the virality traffic and social shares from signalboy.com. And those social shares and virality traffic get the guest posts, which now are guest posts on steroids, which now we've coined the phrase as being power posts. And these power posts now, some people used to call it like parasite SEO and all the rest of it. But parasite's a disgusting term to use, because parasite means you're leveraging at somebody else's expense. Actually, these third-party websites are loving what you're doing because you're powering up their site. You're getting pages and content on their website, ranking and getting traffic. It's improving their site. So actually what it's doing is the people where you're placing the links on the third-party sites are absolutely like really, really happy with it. And you're getting now traffic and power. You can't get any more relevant than that link. That's the best link that you can be getting. Yeah, so I'm like a lot of brands now started doing it where in picture Bet365. So Bet365 are paying out maybe I wouldn't like to say £1 million a month for something along those lines, maybe even £2 million a month to affiliates for them ranking and sending them sports betting players. What these affiliates are trying to rank for, like Bet365 review. Well, why is Bet365 not trying to rank himself with power posts for Bet365 review? They now can control the narrative, which is online reputation management. And when they're doing that, then they're not having to pay, they're lowering the amount of affiliate commission they're having to pay out because it's their own power post that's ranking. Mm-hmm. So it's perfect for brands. If you own an e-commerce store, get ranking for all those terms that you want to on other people's sites, which is sending the traffic back to your site.
Yeah, and again, it improves with the branded search and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
By the way, if you guys do want like a step-by-step strategy on how to actually create your own power posts, first of all, if you want to actually done a DFY service, you can head over to searchery.com, or you can just head to the Kohort group. The link should be in the description. But we've got some questions in here. How should links be built for a national site with local landing pages? I have a few quality links for my homepage at good prices. Should I use the same vendor for my links to landing pages 1 and 2?
So I would always make certain that you're building the majority of your links to the homepage. So get that power to the homepage. With a good, you mentioned about internal linking. If, let's say it's in the US, you want to make certain that the homepage is linking to each state. So it could be, let's say, like Florida, and then Florida can be linking down to Miami, and then potentially that could be 3 tiers because you could go state, which is Florida, Miami is being a suburb or a city within Florida, and then you could do the suburbs, which could be 3 clicks deep. But majority of the time, people wouldn't do a full national site in the US. They just do maybe Florida. So carpetcleaningflorida.com. And then at that point, homepage would be trying to rank for carpet cleaning Florida. 1 click deep will be Miami. And then off that then would be the suburbs of Miami. If you power up the homepage, generally it'll distribute the internal link juice throughout all the pages. Then what you could do is I normally start looking at any pages that might be ranking position number 3 to 10 that are close, or they're getting some sort of clicks. If you can boost them from position 3 to position 1, you see massive traffic increases. The more traffic your site starts to get, you start moving up your traffic tiers, all the other pages then should start ranking better. But generally speaking, I'd look to build links to pages that are doing well, that are already on the first page, because that's what's going to get you best bang for your buck. If you try and start building links to pages that are on page 4 or page 5 of Google, you might see a bit of a lift, but it's jumping from position 40 to position number 22, still getting no clicks. So look at the pages that are doing all right for you and start to power those up. If you do power any pages up, make certain you try and internal link them through to other pages as well.
Yeah, I would agree with that. There's obviously, once some of your one thing that you should probably be looking at as well is looking at Google Search Console, because you might have some certain pages that are on, let's say, page 2, and you can obviously improve those by building more internal links. Like, not every single page on your website should have 5 or 10 internal links. There shouldn't be a set amount.
Yeah.
Does DR matter?
So no. But it is a good indicator. Like, for someone, what becomes frustrating is you get a split. You get some people that are obsessed with DR saying, I only want DR 30 plus links, when some DR 25 links are absolutely brilliant. Like, some DR 25 links move the needle more than a DR 50. Yeah. Because it's getting traffic, it's really relevant, and it's actually got power. It's just Google have seen it. Ahrefs have seen it that it's only a DR 25. But a lot of people manipulate the DR. So there's some DR 60 sites that are terrible. I would not have a link. I'd disavow the link if I got a link on some of these link farms that have manipulated the DR and they're ranking for error code keywords. I don't want those links, right? So a DR 25 could do well. So for that reason, DR isn't the be all and end all. But as an indicator, if it's not been manipulated, generally speaking, it is a great domain rating tool. And you can use other tools if you want, like Trust Flow and Citation Flow. They're all there just to try to assist you and help you. But you still, with the human eye, need to have a look and say, is this a good site or is it not a good site?
Yeah, for sure.
So there's times that if we're buying age domains, let's say from ODYS, and yes, it might be a DR45, but I might go, I don't really like this domain. And there's other ones that might be a DR20 what, and I might be like, I really like this domain. And I think this domain is going to absolutely skyrocket, and I'm going to do really well with it. So it's not the be all and end all, but it is a good indicator.
Yeah, for sure. I think it also comes down to the industry as well, because there was somebody recently at Searcher that wanted high DR website, loads of traffic, but they were actually selling luxury yachts. It's like, well, only 1% of the entire world can buy luxury yachts. So first of all, it's flawed because there's not going to be hundreds of thousands of people searching how much is a luxury yacht or whatever the case may be. So I think it comes down to the industry as well.
I think generally speaking, people need the 3 P's of where people go wrong is procrastination, perfectionist, and prioritization. They're the 3 P's that people get wrong. And the point is with procrastination or being a perfectionist is saying, I want a DR60 that's really relevant to yachts and it's got loads of traffic. Right. Well done, mate. You might have 2 referring domains pointing through to your website. Right. So if I come along saying, okay, I'm going to lower my filters, that as long as it's a DR20 plus and it's semi-relevant related to travel, let's say, and it's getting some sort of traffic, for me, I'm more bothered about the page that I get written as the guest post is a well-written article, which is linking through to me to try to rank the article if I can. It goes back down to the power post scenario. That's what I'm wanting to try to do. And I'd sooner have, here's another one. Here's another bit of a debate that people could have out there. I would sooner have a DR20 guest post that's got 5 tier 2 backlinks pointing specifically to the page that you have done than a DR50 that's not got any internal links or tier 2s pointing through to the page. A link is placed on a page, not on a domain.
Yeah.
So the page needs to be powerful. All these people that buy in guest posts, they're buying orphan links. They don't have any internal links. They get no traffic, and they have no tier 2s. Mm-hmm. Like the amount of people that are spending £500, £400 on a guest post and then not spending £100 to power it up. Honestly, it's commercial suicide.
Just to add to what you've just said, think of the reason, like if we go back 10 years, or to be honest, even PBNs still work today, right? There's no doubt about it. But the reason why PBNs work is because the link you're getting off is from the homepage of a PBN, if your PBN provider's doing it the right way. So the reason why that's giving you really good increases in actual traffic and ranking positions is because, first of all, it's on the homepage. It's got a lot of tier 2 links going through to the homepage. It's not an orphaned page. So at that point, it can definitely help. We've got another question from Sir Klopp. I already have many internal links. However, I have 300 location landing pages, so not passing enough juice. I'm competing against some homepages from other competitors.
So if you're competing against other people's homepages, you're going to really struggle, especially if you've got 300. Like, the truth of the matter is, like, and I know you might not want to hear this, is that if you've got 300 pages, you're dividing your page rank or link juice distribution between the 300 pages, where somebody else is going, I'm going after an exact match or a homepage for that specific area. 99 times out of 100, they're going to beat you out. Generally speaking, I always say, if you've got 300, this is another kind of metric that I use on top of the citations and on top of the press releases. And I was talking about like some guest posts and some niche edits. If I've got 300 location pages and I want to rank every one of those pages, generally speaking, I need 300 do follow links pointing through to the site as well. They're not syndicated press releases and all the rest of it. They are 300. Now, that's what you need in the higher end. If it's an easy to rank for, you might get away with it. But these easy to rank for, you're not coming up against people's homepages. So I'm presuming, because you're saying you're coming up and competing against someone's homepage, it's going to be a relatively competitive kind of term or niche. And for that reason, if you want to try to compete with 300 pages, you need a minimum of 300 RDs that do follow powerful backlinks. Otherwise, you're just not going to compete. You're just not. Your expectation is too high if you think that you are. Maybe do it where you maybe only do suburbs of 50 location pages, not 300. Or go after an easier, longer tail that then homepages aren't going after those specific terms.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best case scenario. And another case that you could go down, but it's really expensive, is building citations to every single one of your location pages. But again, that's going to be, I don't know, 300 times, let's say 100. Yeah. It's going to start adding up really quickly. We have got the man, the myth, the legend, Corey. I miss your voices. Have fun and good streaming.
How you doing, Corey?
So it's funny that Corey actually enters the chat because the next question is about Topical Authority. How do you plan out your Topical Authority for a brand new website?
So we, first and foremost, with regards to the whole industry, have become obsessed with topical maps. And understanding, I probably only understand about 10-15% of what Corey and some of the people like Pavel and several others within there know. Lewis, I'm in a private Corey Kohort group, and I think there's 42 of us in there, and I'm probably the least intelligent about semantic SEO and topical authority. But what I do know is that to rank in Google, you need good quality content at a page level to try and fill whatever the intent is of that page, try and completely fill the intent with all the correct H2s and questions that people might have that matches that intent of the page. And then try to think of every other question or every other topic or entity that you can around it. I normally do things like SEMrush and Ahrefs and export 5 of my competitors, get all the keywords, load them into a place like Keyword Cupid, and then it gives me maybe 86 articles that I need to write for carpet cleaning. And I go and write them 86 articles. I go and make certain they're well written. Yeah. We use autoblogging.ai, but we also humanize it, go into it, making certain we're in the right entities and stuff like that. So we humanize it after it's come out of autoblogging.ai. And then we do the internal linking, we build links to it. In a lot of my niches, it's good enough. Now, in the gambling space, where we've got like sports betting and casino and finance, the team have got to do that a little bit more. So in that scenario, they are trying to do like a Corys style topical map. And that is not just doing keyword research and doing keyword clustering. So no disrespect to anyone out there that are selling topical maps at $500 or $1,000. They're not proper topical maps. And I don't even probably know how to do them, if I'm being honest with you. Like, I've gone to some of these Kohort experts, and it's costing £15,000 to £20,000 to put the proper topical map together. But the amount of detail that comes in it, like, they're telling you exactly what pages are needed. They're giving you the content outlines. They're giving the internal structure, the inner section and the outer section of the topical map, source context of the site, the central main entity of each cluster. And it's difficult. And to be honest with you, a lot of it goes above my head. Yeah. So in some of my niches, I don't really need to do that. Like, Corey gets some grief in certain groups because people haven't done his course and they just think he's trying to sell this mystical kind of made up kind of stuff. But trust me, the one thing I can tell you, right, is I've seen his Google Search Console and he's got about 100 different sites in there. And I reckon 92, 93 of them are all ridiculously going up. And I'm on about like millions of clicks. This guy is on another level. But for majority of easy to rank for, I'd say low to medium keyword difficulty niches, it's not needed. It's overkill. Yeah. If you're in the high end finance, casino, sports betting, you need someone that's either a Corey or someone that understands semantic content networks properly. And I'm not the person for that. If I'm being honest with you, I'm not the person for it. Like, I love geeking out with him and trying to listen to it, but it's just that stuff's on another level. In the local space or in easy to rank for terms, do good quality content, do topical authority, what I deem to be topical authority, lots of articles that have got different intent within what I deem to be related to, let's say, carpet cleaning or whatever it is, and do relevant, powerful links, and that's normally good enough.
I think, and I don't think Corey would mind me saying this, for local, like if you're trying to rank for, let's say, carpet cleaning, you could go down the route of exporting Ahrefs, SEMrush, and maybe even doing some Google auto suggest, so like carpet cleaning for space. I don't know, carpet cleaning for hotels, carpet cleaning for offices, etc. Doing that methodology probably works for, I want to say, like 80% of industries in local.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like gambling and finance and stuff like that, like you mentioned before, so some of the guys that understand Corys Framework, he likes to call it Corynese, they charge like 20 grand, 30 grand for some of the
but do you know what, right? So again, sometimes people, like, if anyone's watching this and they're saying like £20,000 for a strategy, that's not even done for you. That's just a strategy, and you've got to go and implement it.
Yeah.
Right. When I first heard that from some of them, I was like, that's just daylight robbery. Like, that is just complete and utter daylight robbery. Mm-hmm. But now I've seen it on some sites. You've got to remember, right, and this is what some people can't fathom and understand. Some sites was once earning 150, 200,000 pounds a month, especially in like the casino sector, in the online slot sector, in the sports betting sector and stuff like that, in the finance sector. And some of these sites that have been hit hard, right, when they go and get the methodology put together saying, yeah, you went too wide. Mm-hmm. Like, you did topic dilution. You went too wide and off topic.
Yeah.
Right. Or you didn't follow the main central entity of what the site is about. You didn't follow the source context, the domain source context of like, what is the reason you've created this site?
Yeah. And
every article falls underneath that. Okay, this is now how we're going to set it up. So too many people just go scattergun approach, and I'm one of them that does it myself. So when someone goes and pays 20, 25,000 pounds for Pavel or something else, Corey's probably too busy, to be fair. But if someone goes and pays 20, 25,000 from like Lewis or Pavel, or there's several others that do it, that Mike Lovatt, German Froths, there's quite a few different ones that do it, and they're all about the same price, because it does take a long time for them to put it together. And also you get one-to-one calls, and you can ask them questions. What do you think about that? Should I be doing this on the inner or the outer section? Should this be in the macro or the micro content? And talk about micro semantics. I kind of sound like I know what I'm on about, but honestly, guys, I don't. But I've seen sites recover that have like completely just like every month's just going down and down and down and down. And then they're going to start implementing it. And like, to start with, technically they're fixing the site. Then they're going like deleting a load of pages, going, you went too broad. You shouldn't be talking about these. Now here's, like, some of them was like, I deleted 58 pages and I did 8 new pages. I'm like, right, so you're still minus 50 pages in a deficit from that. I deleted 50 odd and now I've created 8 new. And then the site's just gone, boom, higher than it's ever been. And it's like, why is that just for 8? And it's because it's connecting the dots and connecting the node. Like, you've got like the root, the node, and whatever else that it is. You need to go and do Corys course if you want to dig deeper into this. But like, when you start realizing you've got to connect the dots, when you're missing certain main central entities that's not connecting the dots together, your site's just not going to do it. But this is in very, very competitive spaces of where it needs to be done.
I think just to add to your point, like, we've done, I think, what was the most expensive Disavow that we've done? I think it was like 45,000.
I think it was 42,000 something.
Yeah, and then
that's sterling as well, so it's over $50,000.
Yeah, over $50,000 to do a Disavow. But that website was earning, I want to say it was earning like 120, 200, 120.
I think it was more than that, mate. It was doing millions of clicks every month. It was a huge site. I think it had something like 17 million backlinks pointing through to it. It was an insane big site. But yeah, it was earning a fortune.
Yeah.
And it had tanked. And they did the Disavow, and at first they thought, $50,000, that's well expensive. And I'm just like, mate, you've got millions of backlinks that need analysing.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to take us, I think it took something like 6 weeks, and we had several members of staff going through it. Because every single link that gets put in there, you've got to remember, right, a good disavow, some people go and do a disavow and they go, Matt, I'm just going to load it into SEMrush. I'm going to get everyone that's got a spam score, I'm going to load it in the disavow. And you could do that within 10 minutes. And you go, right, brilliant. And you're probably going to tank your site. Because in there, you're going to disavow loads of what's deemed to be spammy or toxic links, but they've got power and trust. Yeah. So then you start looking at it going, you've just disavowed some of your most powerful links. So when we're looking at it, we kind of start off by putting lots of the toxic and spammy links in there. And then we're trying to say, where's the threshold? We want to be below the threshold, but I want to keep every powerful and trusted link. Yeah. The amount of people that have had a disavow done and tanked it even worse than it ever has. And that, we just felt we needed to do the disavow. And there was dropping slightly, and the next minute done the disavow, removed all, and it's just like, wow. So some of these people that say disavows don't work, well, I'll tell you what, I'll challenge you. If you've got a big ass site, go and disavow every single one of your links. If you think that disavows don't work, go and disavow every one of your links. And I'll tell you what, in 6 months, let's go and sit and see where it's at. So anyone that says they don't work, let's do that. And let's have a competition. And I guarantee that your site will tank. If you disavow every single one of your links to a site that's ranking well, if you don't think it works, well, do that, and then let's see where we're at.
I've actually challenged a lot of people to that, and they never take me up on the offer. Yeah. So the last question, by the way, if you guys are watching, we're probably here for like 10 more minutes, so you can actually ask us questions over on YouTube. But new domains or expired domains?
New domains or expired domains? What about age domains?
Well, I'm sorry, age domain. Yeah,
so age domain 100% all day long.
Right.
Then expired, and then probably new. Apart from, let's go through each one. A new domain, why I love a new domain is because I can get keywords in the domain. Love that.
Yeah.
Right. So that's step number one. I do enjoy that. If I can get an expired domain that I want it to be the kind of the brand that I want it to be, or the keywords in the domain that I want it to be, then that's great as well. There's times where I might buy an expired or an age domain, and I might actually 301 it to a new domain. So it passes all the power and the age and stuff like that through, but I'll get the keywords or the brand that I want in the domain name. So that's something else that I might do. But generally speaking, age domains give you a head start. It's like saying, all right, let's go and do a 100-meter sprint, but you can have a 60-meter start, and the winner gets £1 million. Do you want a 60-meter start, or do you want to everyone start on 0 meters? No, I want a 60-meter start. I want not £1 million. I want an 80-meter start if I can. Do you know what I mean? And that's what age domains give you. Mm-hmm. So, but if you don't like the domain, you can 301 it, and it does work very well. You just need to line it up to make certain that would a real business acquire this site, and here's the business that's done it, and then line up the relevance, like we always call it, like growth by acquisition. Lots of businesses buy other businesses. So, but they might not want to run this business anymore. They might just want to put it underneath this business. Mm-hmm. And then for that reason, you can just kind of follow that process that look like, and do a press release showing that you've acquired this, do the 301 through to it, link to the old, link to the new, to kind of do the links together. So semantically on the web, and it connected them together. See how we got semantically in there again, Corey. But then you're linking them both together with relevance, and then it lines up. So age domains work better, because obviously, when I say age domain works better, if it's a DR1 and it's got 5 referring domains, but like, there's not really that much power. It's got age, so I suppose age is still a factor as well, which is good. Yeah. But generally speaking, me using something like ODYS, I'm doing the filters. There's certain things with ODYS why I love it, right? You can log into it. Some of them, I'll be honest with you, some of the domains in there are overpriced. And I think I'd never spend $30,000 on that site. No. Like, it's a DR20, it's got 300 referring domains. And because it's got like a brand in the domain, or like there could be a brandable domain, they go, well, it's got like an asset value for the name of the domain. I'm like, I think that's too much. But I'd say there's 30% of the domains in there that are ridiculously too cheap, right? And if you can put the right filters in place, right, here's a little tip for you. Alex Drew ought to be saying this, right? Go into ODYS in the dashboard and start looking. They use Ahrefs for how many backlinks that it has. If you have a link research tools account, they probably get 2 to 3 more time, 2 to 3 more backlinks being seen on the web than what Ahrefs do, right? Ahrefs now is more of a, not just a backlink analysis checker, it's more of a full SEO suite with regards to keyword research. It's now got clustering, it's got loads of other things in there. I think Tim's done a good job on the marketing of it. I think it is probably the best SEO tool that there is out there. I hate the credit system, if I'm being honest with you, but it is what it is. It is the best tool out there, in my opinion, for as in a holistic kind of SEO tool. But link research tools can bring back all the links, and there's some of them in there. And ODYS will say that it's got 10,000 referring domains when it might have
got more,
30 or 40,000 referring domains. And they base their price. They're looking at different metrics like, is the domain brandable? All right, it's a bit more. How many referring domains do they have? And they might, let's say, score it as being, it's 50p a referring domain. If I know that they've got 30,000 more referring domains than what ODYS are telling me, I'm £15,000 better off in my head. I'm looking at it going, wow, this site for 10 grand should be 25.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So there's a little tip for you if you are looking for
I've actually in my Kohort group, that's like one of the first videos. I think it's video number 2. Video number 1's like picking a domain. Video number 2 is using like expire or age domains, and that's the exact strategy that I use. You actually don't need to use the you don't actually need to get an LRT package.
No, you can use the Chrome. Chrome. The Chrome extension, just type in link research tools. Or is it not LRT Power Times Trust, is it? It's something like that. Kasra will put it in the Kohort group. He'll put the link into it. Get that Chrome extension and then start seeing how many referring domains and how many backlinks that your sites have. Because what will be interesting, right, is check SEMrush and check Ahrefs for how many links your domain has, and then go to the Chrome extension and put it in there and look at the discrepancy, the difference between them. So SEMrush might say there's 20,000 backlinks. Ahrefs might say there's 25,000, and link research tools might say there's 80,000. So 4 times more SEMrush. So then it poses the question, if you go back onto disavows, anyone that does a disavow using SEMrush, it's flawed, completely flawed. You're only seeing 20% of your backlink profile. Go and have a look at it yourself, like on different domains. Go and have a look at it. Like, it's completely flawed.
The one caveat to this is if it's like, I've seen it being pretty exact on Ahrefs, SEMrush, and also link research tools when you've only got like 200 referring domains.
But then to be fair, if you've got 200 referring domains, you probably don't need a disavow. It's only really when you start getting towards over 500,000 backlinks, you need to really start worrying too much about disavows. Might be a little bit less if you have been viral.
You say that, but we did have to do a disavow for that client that only had 1,000 referring domains, but he had went to Fiverr and got a load of.
No, I meant 500,000 backlinks.
Ah, right, okay.
Because a lot of times you might only have 1,000 referring domains, but they might have 600,000 backlinks.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So but I mean that's a complete don't. If you've got 4,000 referring domains or 20,000 backlinks, go, oh, Dooley told me I don't need a disavow. Like, it completely depends on the niche, completely depends on how toxic the links are that you have. There's certain, like, there's a dozen links that I know out there that people are spending at present $450, $500 for a link. They're literally spending $450, $500 for the link, right? That we've taken out of our database for when we're selling any sort of links. And some of these biggest link building agencies are still paying $450 to $500 for a link on these sites. One of them is a DR68 site. Might even get you to put them in your Kohort group. That could be a good little blacklist for some domains. That people are spending money on links and spending $450, $500 on these links, and the most toxic links that you can get. Like Charles Float did one too. He had a furniture one, and he built a link on it, and he absolutely tanked it and had to get it removed. And about 8 weeks later, it came back. Like, some of them are just horrendously toxic, but people don't look at toxicity, they just look at DR.
Yeah, definitely. What's so just on closing notes, because we've got 2 more minutes before we go. What's some words of advice for people getting into SEO and wanting to learn and level up and stuff like that? Because obviously, one thing that you consistently say is people try to be a perfectionist, and then they end up procrastinating. So what's your final thoughts?
Always remember the 3 P's: procrastination, perfectionist, prioritization. I'd say prioritization is the big one. So one of the previous questions came back saying, like, where should I build a link? I've got 300 location pages. Again, prioritization. Look at the ones that are ranking in positions 2 to 10 or 2 to 5. And if you can get them to position number 1, you're going to get way more traffic on those pages than getting one from position 50 to position 20. So looking at that can help in local. If you are wanting to geek out with regards to semantics, go and do Corys course. It's an absolute minefield. If you're not good at linguistics or content, I recommend not doing it because it will just baffle you. But if you think you're good at content and you think you understand linguistics, go and get Corys course and understand it. The people in the course and in the community will help you along the way, but it's a long-term gain. But look at any trade. If you're looking to learn a trade, generally speaking, if you want to be best in your field and become an expert, it can take 4, 5, 6 years until you become an expert. So there's that side. Make certain that you're networking, turning up to events, masterminds. In my opinion, masterminds are better than conferences because you can ask people questions. If someone's up on stage and you disagree with someone, or they're saying something, and you can't ask them a question when they're just doing a talk and there's a script behind them, and they just like rehearse the script. I don't like that, if I'm being honest. That's why I'll only ever do Ask Me Anything. Ask me what the hell you want. Right? If you're in a mastermind, you can ask what you want. You can challenge people, saying, well, that didn't work for me when I did this testing. When was the last time you tested it? And sometimes they go, oh, I've not tested it. I just heard 3 years ago. You know, right, okay, now I know who I'm talking to. But a lot of time you don't know that until you can ask them those questions, and you don't want to heckle them on stage. So there's just bits like that. Get yourself to some high quality masterminds. If you go to a mastermind and you're the brightest guy in the room, you're in the wrong room. Go and try and get yourself in front of people that are brilliant at what they do. And if, like for me, I'm probably, whatever field of SEO you want to learn, I'm definitely not the best in my lane. But holistically, I know who is probably best in each one of the lanes. I always say to you, if I need a roof doing, I go and get a roofer. So if I needed semantic done, I go and speak to Corey. If I needed a second opinion, which is trying easier than Corey method, I'd speak to Kyle Roof that does edge analysis and entities that needs to be placed in certain parts of the page. If I'm doing backlinks, I'd speak to someone like you or to Carl Hudson that's just living and breathing, building links and checking it across so many different niches in so many different geos, because finance to casino to local to e-commerce, completely different link building strategies are needed. So people need to understand these different nuances within the algorithms as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's very well put. So thanks for joining me.
No worries, mate.
And if you guys do want to join Kasra Kohort, did you see that I've spelled it with a K?
Have you?
Yeah, Kasra Kohort with a K. Make certain to check out the link.
You just did a spelling mistake there, you.
No, I thought I was being a bit cool with that name. And
KK.
Yeah, if you guys do want to join, the link should be in the description, or just go to whop.com/Kasra-Kohort. There are only 7 spaces left to join. And yeah, thanks for all the questions and thanks for joining us. We had 60+ viewers at one point.
Superb. Cheers, guys.
Thanks.